What's up, everybody? This is D from Brooklyn, checking in with a little video update, and I'm going to do something a little different today because, courtesy of my aquarium box, I got a product that I would have probably never even run into, which is the awesome thing about my aquarium box. It one of these things that you sometimes don't know about these products, but since they send you all these awesome things to try and introduce yourself to, I get to try one, and I'm going to bring you along with me for the ride. So first and foremost, I'm trying to talk louder because I've been getting rubbed by everybody and people busting my chops about I'm whispering. It's my voice, it's who I am. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Okay, so basically I am going to review a product. Reach into my aquarium box, and it's Dr.Tims Bene-Fish-al. Now, Bene-Fish-al is a fish food that you can mix up yourself, and it's awesome because when I think of this hobby and think of how far we've come, that we actually have kits that you can mix at home and pre-freeze based on what you want, how much you want. Oh, that's awesome. So let me just take a look at Bene-Fish-al. Now, Bene-Fish-al is a protein-rich, all-inclusive fish food that is actually put together to address all the needs of a wide variety of fish and aquarium wildlife. So it contains fish, it contains spinach, kelp. All of your algae eaters have that protein that they need, as well as antioxidants. I know antioxidants is a big buzzword in the human consumption field, but it also applies to animals, fish, and wildlife. So phytonutrients has spirulina, probiotics, cultures, and all this good stuff. And according to the instructions, it's a 1, 2, 3 sort of thing. So I'm going to see if I can mix it without blowing up my house or self-destructing. So basically, I'm going to open this up. Step 1, you're going to mix it. Step 2, and so on and so forth. So let's get this bad boy open and see if I can get it done here. Okay, so step 1. Something that we really don't do, and fellas, I don't know about the ladies, but fellas, you know what I'm talking about. It's very rare that we read instructions, but you gotta read the instructions, you know, so that you know what the heck you're doing. So let's stop by reading the instructions. So step 1, we're gonna open that package. We're gonna mix the food and whatever extras that I decide to put in. It has a variety of stuff here. So you have, you know, your basic mixture, you have your pellets, you have some herbal mixes there. So that's an awesome thing. And what I'll do is I'll go through the instructions, and then we'll do a double take, and I'll show you as I go through the process. So first, we're going to open up, mix up what we want to do. Secondly, we're going to stir it up and get all of those things blended in for about 2 minutes. And what we're going to do is, according to this, in the water that has been brought to a boil. So we're going to boil the water first and then mix up all of the stuff from step 1. And then the last step is we're going to put it into the preformed containers here, which are ready for placement into the freezer. And we'll have our fish food ready in 2 hours according to the instructions. So, all right, let's get into step 1, old chap. So, okay. We're going to go through step 1, which also is stated on the back of the package. And you can see that. You're going to empty the entire contents of this pouch into a ½ cup of boiling water. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this bowl so that I don't get my wife angry by using her food dishes to mix up fish food. That could easily get you thrown into the doghouse, fellas, just in case you didn't know. And then have that mixture ready for the tray. So let's get into that. So now, after a brief pause, I got my boiling water here. Yep, thank you. Not going fishing, but got my boiling water. So I'm going to empty this. And one thing I want to mention in looking at it while I was waiting for the water to boil is, while you're adding the entire package, the good thing about this food, which I wasn't really thinking about, is if some of you guys use medications or you add any little things, like sometimes I add like a Daphne or something like that to my fish food, you can do it while you're mixing it, and it'll be all set up and squared away for you, and you have your own customized food. So that is pretty awesome. And now that is all emptied from the packaging. I thought I saw a mixing stick in here. Okay, there it is. Mixing stick here. Let's see what this is before I mix that. Free seaweed medley sample. Okay, I don't know if I need to add that, but that's a free seaweed medley sample. And I'll probably add a little of that since I'm feeling like Top Chef right now. Let's add a little seaweed medley. What the hell? I'll tell you, it smells delicious. Don't leave this sitting around. Your kids might think it's something to put on a cracker because it smells pretty good. I'll give you a closer look at it. Doesn't look like much of a meal, but I'll tell you, it actually smells good. So I put a little seaweed medley in there. And I'll put that on the side there, seaweed medley. Now let's get that mixing tongue depressor out here. This is my cup of water, which I boiled. I'm going to add a little bit at a time so I don't make a complete mess and stir it up like the instructions say. I'll tell you, it smells pretty good. Not bad. Alright, that looks pretty well blended there. Give you a closer look now. Alright, where's my instructions so I don't veer off the instructions? Yeah, you know how we guys are. So, okay, so the fish and extras, stir for 2 minutes. We'll stir it a little bit more. You hear me yapping. Alright, and the water's cooling off. The smoke is a little dying down here. Make sure that's nice and blended up. Maybe I'll put the rest of the seafood medley in there. What the heck am I going to do with this little bit? Might as well add that in there. What the heck, man? See how we guys follow instructions, ladies? We're already veering off and ad-libbing. But I figure that's a little bit extra for if you got tangs or if you have plecos that are really veggie specific. That'll probably entice them more into trying something new. When you try to feed your fish something new, they can be a little finicky. Okay, I think that is well mixed. Let's get to step 3. I'm going to get out me old plastic containers here. Alright, we got the containers, which are pretty cool. I don't want to break them, so... Alright, it has a little cover on it, which is awesome. So I'll lay this. I'll move this cup out the way since we're done with that. Let's lay this here while it's nice and pliable and pourable. And let's get a little bit sloppy. I'm just going to pour it all in there. I'll try to be neat, but you know, pour that all in there and get it nice and somewhat professional looking. Fill each one of these. And it looks like it's actually, their instructions are probably spot on because it looks like it is just the right amount to fill these trays. Spot on. So thank you, Dr. Tims, for your detailed instructions, because once again, fellas, you know we don't listen. You know we always winging it. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. You lady Aquarius out there. So now I'll just use this spreader to get it even in each one of the compartments. And also, the good thing is, I guess you could probably reuse this thing, this container, you know, as long as you're careful in popping it out and everything. And that's it. Everything is cool. Alright. Looking mighty professional. We didn't botch it up. Alright. And I'll close that so I don't spill it on the way up. Give it a little tapping. And we are ready to put that bad boy in the freezer. So let's get it to the freezer. And according to the instructions, we're going to freeze that bad boy for 2 hours. And after 2 hours, we'll see what we got to work with. Now, one more awesome thing about this is in my aquarium box, you know, once again, I would have never saw these. And for all you guys that actually own local fish stores and kind of get anti-online, you know, to kind of get a vendetta against online shops, the best thing about products like my aquarium box is you find out what people want and what works and what doesn't work. You got people testing it. You find out what's best to stock, and you can actually let people know that whether you carry it or not. So if I was a store owner, shoot, I would have a My Aquarium box come to my store so that I know what the latest and greatest products are. So once again, getting back on topic, this was also in the My Aquarium box, which is an addendum to the pre-powdered mix. So you could add additional garlic. You could add mealworms. And what's this one? I can't see that one. Gamarus. I don't know what that gamarus is, but it says marine oriented. So this is a marine oriented mix. And this is a more freshwater mix. Although just because it says freshwater doesn't mean you don't mix it for salt water. And they come in these cool little grinders, man. I definitely have to keep this separate because I wouldn't want to come home Sunday morning, my wife's cooking with this garlic. You know, it looks just like the stuff that we use. It has a cool little grinding top. And you could mix it in the bowl when you're doing your little mix of that pre-mixed powder and customize it. And they actually give you, with the mix, a recipe card. So you can keep a track of, you know, you could probably slip this in there with the plastic container that it comes for the premix, and you could write down what you put in it. So if this one you put extra garlic, or if you put mealworms in it, or if this is your freshwater mix, you can actually write on the card freshwater mix. And it's pretty well made, kind of laminated, so you can put it in there and keep a record of your recipes. So that's pretty okay. All right, we got our working table down, and look at that, man. I gotta tell you, this is really fun. I'm like, making stuff yourself is so much fun, man. I gotta tell you, that is, I know it sounds weird, but doing it yourself and knowing you made your own fish food, this is awesome, bro. Let me get a closer look. I got, how many of those? 4, 8, 16, 24 individual frozen cubes that I'm going to add to my tank right now. Alright, I just changed some water so everything is all disheveled in the tank, but I can get my feeding disc here, put in my little space, and actually, instead of doing that, let me just pop the cube out. Hard to do it with one hand, but let me put the phone down a second. Okay, let me center that. Alright, I popped the cube out. Yo, this is awesome, bro. You know why it's awesome? Because when I go in my freezer, I'm gonna know, guess what? This is D's food. Dr. Tim, thank you. This is a fun project to do. Put it in my little feeding cube. For those of you that don't use a feeding cube, you can just drop it in your tank. Because one thing it mentioned on the package, it is none of those preservatives and stuff like that, because you haven't had to preserve it. It's actually mixed and ready to use, which is much better for your tank. So I'm gonna just try to do this with one hand, pop it into my little feeding station here. As you can see, the fish will come up as soon as they see me with this triangle in my hand. They know what time it is, especially my Blenny Freddy. All right, let me pop that on in the ring there, let it sink down. And there we got it. I wonder how long it takes to dissolve. I see Freddy is used to it. He's punching at the triangle because he knows when I put the Daphnia in there, he can move that triangle and it'll start melting faster. So these guys are pretty smart. One of the added benefits of using dedicated areas to feed your fish, you know, they get trained to the routine. He'll actually sit there and wait for it to thaw out, peck at it. I see a few pieces coming off. The clownfish is eating it. They're actually sitting around and waiting for it, so that's a good sign. The real test is my wrasse hasn't come out yet, but we'll see if he comes out. So far so good. These guys kind of love it. There's a cardinal coming out. The food is dissolving nice and slowly. That's another thing that I like. I don't like, only thing about the Daphnia is once it does dissolve, it really fills the tank. Although it's good for the coral, as you can see by the Pavona. Positioning them by the food station helps them grow really fast. Everybody's seeming to like the food, so I would say that this is a win-win. They're pecking it out. Pieces are melting off nice and slowly. If you wanna, what you could also do is take a razor blade and cut chunks off and take it out for bigger fish and things like that where you can't use the cube. But I'm impressed, Dr. Tims. The fish are obviously liking it. They're not saying, okay, what the hell is this? And they're melts nice and slowly. So for those of you that haven't tried it, do 2 thumbs up to Dr. Tims Bene-Fish-al do-it-yourself fish making kit there, And once again, if it wasn't for my aquarium box, I would not have seen it. This is one of those things that if the local pet stores actually get a my aquarium box, or or affiliate with them and see all these new products that come out in the market, they could offer it to their customers, and it builds a confidence in the stores. It's not all about online versus the stores. It's a partnership. Everybody wants to survive in business and make money, and at the end of the day, the hobbyists want something that actually works. So I would not have had found this on my own. So thanks, Mike from Mass, brother from another mother. I can't support those guys enough. Him and Greg and Mike, Aaron's Aquarium, Mike, Jolly good show. Check it out. Check out my aquarium box. Check out Dr. Tim. See if you can pick up this beneficial food. And with that being said, I'm going to leave these guys to eat. And I think I'm going to have me a little snackety dackety myself. So successful 3-step process. All right. This is D. And I'm out. It was easy. It was so easy even I could do it. All right. See ya. Wow, I even think this guy is coloring up a little bit. That means he's in a good mood.